Order. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Paul,
Here.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Here.
Councilmember Whitman,
Here.
Councilmember Hatton.
Here.
Councilmember Lewis.
Here.
Mr. Lamach.
Here.
Mr. Lewis. Mr. Holstein. Mr. Weinthal.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. May I remind everybody to turn off your cell phones or just put them on vibrate. We open the first meeting of every month with open public comments. Those individuals that would like to speak on just about any issue are allowed to do so. The only thing that you can't do is to speak on something that's on the public hearing portion. When that comes up, you can speak at that time. Do we have anyone here that would like to speak during the open speak? Wow. Okay, then we'll close the open speak. That means everybody's happy. That's always good. I'm just going to take things out of order a little bit. The first presentation tonight we're going to do is the Orange Blossom Festival. Mr. Pullman, Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Director, will lead the band.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council, Administration, staff, and members of the public. Jeff Pullman, Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department. And we'll get to our royalty after this presentation, but we wanted to introduce the festival before we introduce our queens this year. I also want to introduce Simone James Crichton, Jennifer Shapiro, and Gary Snelling from our Special Events Division that are here tonight as well, because they're the ones that put in all the great work to make these festivals happen here in the town of Davie. So, yeah. Jennifer's nervous that I'm going to invite her up to present tonight, but I promise I won't do that to you. So tonight we're excited to promote the town of Davie's 87th annual Orange Blossom Festival Parade and Rodeo. This year's event will again take place at Bamford Sports Complex for the 3-day festival, featuring a kickoff concert on Friday, February 23rd at 6 o'clock p.m., and then 2 full days of festival fun on Saturday and Sunday, followed by 2 performances by the Davie Pro Rodeo Association at the Bergeron Rodeo Grounds. The Saturday activities will begin with a parade at 10 o'clock a.m., and the festival grounds will immediately open following the conclusion. At 6 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, the festival will conclude, and the gates to the rodeo grounds will open, and then on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., with the rodeo taking place at 2 o'clock. Here's just a quick festival map and the layout of the fields. So we do ask everyone to enter the park from Pine Island Road at the main entrance, where attendants will be directing traffic for parking. We will also have additional dedicated handicap parking spots near the playground as well. The festival grounds, as mentioned, will open Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. On Saturday, the parade will begin at Southwest 36th Street, travel through the park, past the playground and festival grounds, and then exit on Southwest 92nd Avenue. Anyone entering the park after 10 o'clock a.m. will be directed to the south parking, so even if people come late, they can still enter the park site. So as mentioned, the festival kicks off Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. with our kickoff concert featuring the Big Rock Band. Also, our vendors, food trucks, and other children's activities will take place Friday night as well. The music will begin at 6:30 and go till 9 p.m. On Saturday, February 24th, as mentioned, we'll kick off with the 10 o'clock parade till 6 p.m. The rodeo grounds will open at 6 for the 7:30 performance, and then Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Festival activities include the parade, live music and entertainment, youth performances throughout both days, rides and activities, our vendor fair with over 100 vendors, food and beverages, petting farm, and animal encounters, as well as historical displays, our farmers market, the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast, and the Women's Club Strawberry Shortcake Festival. Saturday's activities, as mentioned, will begin with our parade that steps off promptly at 10 o'clock a.m. The parade theme this year is the Beauty and Diversity in Davie, a mosaic of culture and traditions. And as always, we'll feature local community groups, equestrian clubs, schools, youth bands, and more. And we do still have space for parade participants if anybody's interested. And obviously, our Orange Blossom Queens will be a showcase as well. I'm sorry? And King, yes, sorry. I apologize, sir. Immediately following the parade, the festival grounds will open with over 100 vendors, as mentioned, including handmade crafts and local businesses. And it wouldn't be an Orange Blossom Festival without a petting farm and animal displays, pony rides, excuse me, and the historical wagon displays as well, and farming equipment. In addition to our vendors, local nonprofits and community organizations will also be on display throughout the festival. Everyone's encouraged to visit, as I mentioned, the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast, the Farmers Bureau Farmers Market, the 4-H Club, Old Davie School, Davie Area Land Trust, and of course the Women's Club Strawberry Festival, which will again be at the concession stand. We also have an area that will be set up for multicultural organizations there at the festival to feature many of our groups here in Davie. The grounds also include a large children's area with many activities and games and rides for all to enjoy, as well as food trucks and other festival foods throughout both days. And of course, you can't forget our own Davie Police and Fire Departments that will be on site with a lot of fun activities for our kids and community. Our main stage, again, is sponsored by Seminole Classic Casino this year. And on Saturday, the bands are Clean Slate, which is a rock and dance group, and then Whiskey Six, which is a local country act. Performances throughout the day by the Junkanoo Band, South Florida Cloggers, South Florida Chorale, and Beach Street. And the fun continues on Sunday with Big City Dogs, a classic rock band, and Shane Duncan Band, Encore Dance, Karate USA, and Sundays. And we're also in communication with a few other bands and community performances that we'll release at a later date. As mentioned, the rodeo will host 2 performances throughout the weekend on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2 o'clock p.m. Everyone is encouraged to buy their tickets early. They are on sale online and at Griff's Western Wear. The past 5 rodeos have sold out prior to the performance date, so please buy your tickets early if you plan to go to the rodeo. So again, just to recap, we're very excited for the 87th Annual Orange Blossom Festival Parade and Rodeo right here in Cowboy Town, USA, and hope everyone joins us for one of Davie's longest-standing traditions. So if there are no questions at this time, I'd like to introduce Simone James, our Special Event Coordinator, to present our 2023-24 Orange Blossom Royal Court.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council, Administration, staff, and members of the public. I am excited to announce the 2023-24 Orange Blossom Royal Court, who will represent the town of Davie at our annual special events and rodeos throughout the year. I would like to begin by thanking our 2022-23 Orange Blossom Royal Court, who've proudly served the town during their reign. The success of our pageant would not be possible without the following: Pageant Director Lisa Alvarez, Master of Ceremonies Rebecca Vetter, Judges Audrey Sieber, Dr. Napier, and Norma Warwick, as well as our performers, the South Florida Cloggers. I'd like to bring our pageant director, Lisa Alvarez, forward so she can assist with the queens. The pageant festivities began on Friday, September 8th with our Mr. and Mrs. Orange Blossom pageant during the senior luncheon at the Pine Island Multipurpose Center. 6 of our Davie senior women and 2 Davie senior men competed for the prestigious title of Mr. and Mrs. Orange Blossom. Lisa? We are proud to present to you.
We're proud to present to you our Mrs. We are lucky to have 2 this year. We have Nichelle Hastings and Bridget Lopez. Our king is Carrie Sohav.
The royal festivities continued on Saturday, September 9th, when over 60 girls participated in the Miss Orange Blossom Pageant across 5 age categories. The Royal Court will also be featured in the 87th Annual Orange Blossom Festival, Parade, and Rodeo. Without further ado, we will present our 2023 Miss Orange Blossom Queens.
Our tiny miss is Eliana Jasau Simono. Our little miss is Taylor Murray. Our junior miss is Emily Korn. Our Miss Junior Teen is Layla Korn. And our Miss Teen is Julie Lopez.
Thank you to the participants and all who contributed to this wonderful event. Once again, congratulations to our 2023-24 Orange Blossom Royal Court.
Orange Blossom is always so important for us. Thank you to the Royal Court. Thank you to Lisa. Did a great job. While they're taking pictures. More pictures? I don't want all the activity to take away from our next presentation. That's why I'm just pausing for a minute. We'll see them in the parade on a float, special float for our royal court. Hmm? So quiet. Sounds like one of my classrooms. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Our next presentation is a new business in Davie. I was lucky enough to go for their ribbon cutting called F-List Florida. And I asked them to come and talk about their business. Is Stefan here? Where are you? Oh, he didn't come? No. This is Paige, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Stefan broke his arm earlier today, so he wasn't able to make it.
Riding a
But
bucking horse, getting ready for the rodeo, right?
I'm sure,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to have to do it by myself, but you know.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, well, thank you all for having me. I'll be short and sweet, but so we're a new business in Davie. As of November 9th, we had our grand opening, and we're right on Davie Road, pretty close to 595. And we have a great 13,000 square foot facility there for manufacturing purposes. So F-List, the name of the company is from the owner, who is Franz Liszt, based out of Vienna. And so our company is worldwide. We're headquartered out of Vienna, Austria, and we have locations in London, in Germany, in Brazil, here, and then also Montreal. And I'm sure there's a couple others that I'm missing. But we're a family-owned company, and right now we're run by the granddaughter of the founder, who is Katarina Liszt. Like I mentioned, we're around the world. We have more than 900 employees. And we're really excited to be a part of South Florida and be in the in the town of Davie. Our two main focuses, so the company as a whole, we specialize in very high-end interiors, and mostly aircraft and residential. And then also in South Florida, we'll be focusing a bit on yacht interiors, since South Florida is so prolific with yachting and also in aviation. So a little bit about our aircraft interiors. Our facility in Davie, Florida is really going to be our main hub for production and manufacturing. So we also have a small facility at the Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport, which is where we will be able to disassemble aircraft and pull out their interiors, and then we will bring them to our facility here in Davie and refurbish them. So everything from the leather inside to all of the woodwork inside, really just making an aircraft look new and be whatever the owner wants it to be. And we also, with yachting, do a similar thing. Anything upholstery related or woodwork related. Our team is very highly skilled in the woodworking side of things as well as upholstery, but the company started out as a cabinet making shop. So our history really is on the woodwork side. Here's a kind of list of the different capabilities that we have. And we've really started to get integrated with the different service centers around the South Florida area, as well as, trying to get our name out there with private aircraft owners as well as flight departments in the area. Here's an example of like a before and after of something that our team was able to do. So the before on the left, maybe a little bit dated. And then on the right, we were able to really give the airplane new life. And so this is a photo of our facility that's here in Davie, and we're really excited to be here, and so far it's been a great home for us. And I know a lot of my colleagues are looking forward to going to the Orange Blossom Festival coming up. And so that's all I have. So thank you very much.
Wonderful, thank you. Any questions? I just the fact that world-renowned business chose Davie for their main hub here in the United States speaks a lot for our town and where we have come over the years, and we're just thrilled to have you here. And of course, when I upgrade my plane, I'll definitely come to you.
Please, that would be great. We'll give you a good discount.
Taylor Swift, I'm not. Thank you very much.
The Davie, huh?
Yeah. I'm lucky I have my horse with leather saddle. So, our next presentation is the first quarter financials. Mr. Ackerman, Budget and Finance Director.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. I am Bill Ackerman. I am your Budget and Finance Director. Tonight, I'm going to go over a brief presentation on the general fund and the first quarter financial results through December 31st, 2023. Before I jump into it, a few things worth noting. We are currently working on our first budget amendment. That will be at the next council meeting, the second reading, so that is not included in this at this point. Also, the first CIP amendment, capital improvement plan, is also on actually tonight's council meeting agenda, so that is also not included in there through December 31st, 2023. Some good news, though. Do want to report that as it relates to general fund reserves and one-time revenue sources, we're not using any of that type of stuff to fund everyday ongoing operations. So that is good news for the general fund. So to start, and we're going to look at the revenue first. We're going to take a look at a snapshot at the revenue as of December 31st, 2023. We have it broken out between revenues, the original budget, the actual first quarter results, and the percentage received. Overall, you can see we're at 57%, which is consistent for previous years. We're going to first start with ad valorem revenues. As of December 31st, we were at 89%, which is also consistent with previous years, and it's where we expect to be. Ad valorem is the #1 revenue source for the general fund, and at this point, everything is looking good with it. The next category we're going to take a look at is local, utility, and other taxes. Within that category, we have local option fuel tax, communication services taxes, and FP&L utility taxes. For local option fuel tax and communication services taxes, through December 31st, we had only received 1 month payment. We're not overly concerned with it. They're just usually a little slow in getting us the monies, but we are on track to get 12 payments for the year. The local option fuel tax was a little ahead of schedule. Communication services taxes was a little behind the budget at this point. As a side note, communication services taxes over the years, I know when we present that to town council, it is a revenue that has been declining over the years, but we do budget accordingly. And for FP&L utility taxes, we're at 24% after the first 3 months. We are on target. That's more of a seasonal revenue for us, and there are certain times of the year where we actually get more revenue for it. So overall, we are expecting to hit revenue for the FP&L utility taxes. The next category we're going to look at are permits, fees, and assessments, and overall, we're at 60% for that category. And part of the reason why we're so high in that category is because of the fire assessment. Through December 31st, we were at 94% for the year, which is also consistent in previous years. As we know, the fire assessment a lot of it is paid in November and December through the property tax bill because people take advantage of the discount that they can get. Other items in this category include our FP&L franchise fee, which we collected 1 month through December 31st, and that appears to be a little ahead of target for total revenues for the year. The solid waste franchise commercial franchise fee is also doing well for the year. Building permits through December 31st had collected 33% of their budget, so they're ahead of schedule. And engineering permits, they were actually over 100% after the first quarter of the fiscal year. So their budget was $1 million, and they've already exceeded that amount for the fiscal year. The next category we're going to take a look at is intergovernmental revenue. Now, the 17% is a little on the low end, but keep in mind that intergovernmental revenue includes grant money. And for example, the body-worn cameras, that grant revenue is part of this category, and we haven't received anything yet. So that's why the category is a little low. But the two main items in this category are state revenue sharing and the half-cent sales tax. Those comprise of approximately 84% of this category. For both categories, state revenue sharing and half-cent sales tax, right now, we're on schedule to collect what we budgeted for the fiscal year. The next category is charges for services, fines, and forfeitures. There's a variety of items in this category. It includes our contract with Southwest Ranches. It includes annual fire inspections, ambulance transport fees, court fines, police services. It also includes several different categories in Parks and Recreation. So looking a little more detail for this category, contractual services for Southwest Ranches, we're actually showing 33% and 4 months collected through December 31st because we bill them 1 month in advance. So we're doing okay in that category. For Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts, we're at 22% after 3 months. It's seasonal. We're expecting to hit budget by the end of the fiscal year. EMS transport revenue and court fines are also a little on the low end through the first quarter, but after talking with police and fire, we are projecting to hit budget for those two categories as well. It is worth noting that in this category, overall, there is what we call police services. The town, we offer police services to the CRA, we offer police services to Nova Southeastern University, and we also have the School Resource Officer, the SRO program. For Nova Southeastern University, through December 31st, we had not been paid yet, but that's okay. We got payment from them in January, which is what is expected. The CRA, we did a transfer in January for them as well, so we're doing okay on the CRA side. In the last category, the School Resource Officers, right now we haven't billed them anything because they're currently working on finalizing their contract with the school board. So once they finalize the contract, and it looks like they're finally getting there, we'll be able to back bill them for October and collect the revenues. But to date, we haven't collected anything in that category yet. The next category is miscellaneous and others. So within miscellaneous and others, we have on the miscellaneous side, we have interest and investment income, we have temporary tower leases, and private donations. Within the other category of that, we have using reserves, interfund transfers, and the administrative fee paid by utilities to the general fund. So looking at a couple examples within that category, interest and investment income has done very well for us in fiscal year 2024. We're actually just a little over 100% after the first 3 months of the year. I'll tell you, if you go back 2 years ago, we were actually negative in this category. The market's been doing well, interest rates are up, so the category is doing well so far this fiscal year. We have $1 million budget for the donation for the DeGeorge Club Gym. At this point, we haven't collected anything yet. We may not even collect it this year, but the good news is the expenditure, of course, hasn't been expended yet either. Once we get the revenue, then we'll expend the expenditure side of it. On the other category from reserves, we have about $10.5 million budgeted to use from reserves. It could be anywhere from wetlands maintenance reserves, tree preservation reserves. We're also using some money from building reserves for operations and for the new town hall. And also we're using some reserves to go towards the CIP for fiscal year 2024. We haven't done that transfer yet. We will do that in the near future. Interfund transfers includes $1.3 million. $1 million of that is going to come from the Community Redevelopment Agency, or the CRA. A couple of years ago, we loaned them $4 million, and they're paying us back $1 million per year. So that we will do in this quarter as well. And lastly, contributions from enterprise operations, that's the administrative fee from utilities, and at this point, we've collected the 25% to this date. So everything is good in that category. Next, we're going to take a look at the general fund expenditure snapshot as of December 31st, 2023. And the way we broke this out was between expenditures, the categories there, the original budget, the actual first quarter results, as well as percentage expended through the first quarter. The good news is all the departments and divisions in the town are under 25% expended, with the exception of risk. But risk is expected because we pay all of our premiums in October. So we are expected to be over 25% for the fiscal year at that point. So everything is looking good. For personnel services, we are at about 20% through December 31st. We expect to be at about 23% based on the number of pay periods we've had through December 31st. But again, personnel doesn't just include salaries, it includes all the benefits, health, and so forth. Although we're under budget there is good news. We do use some of that because of vacancies. We do use some of that savings towards overtime. The operating expenditures is about 16%. It's also in pretty good shape. About 1.7 million of that went towards the insurance premiums I mentioned before. This category includes items such as professional services, contractual services, IT charges, electric, fuel, water, and vehicle usage. The next category, capital outlay and grants. We haven't spent a whole lot in the fiscal year 2024 to date. Debt service, this is for the debt service for the general obligation and the general obligation bonds that we have outstanding. The two debt payments are due in February and August. We made a payment in February. But as of December 31st, no payment was due. And lastly, the other uses category, that is made up of two things. First, it's made up of the Town of Davie must pay the CRA their tax increment financing. So that's the $4.3 million that was spent to them during fiscal year 2024. We made that payment in December. And lastly, the remaining portion is money that's going to be transferred over to the Capital Projects Fund, as well as to the Vehicle Maintenance Fund, and as well as to the Debt Service Fund to pay for the debt service we have for the new Town Hall bonds that we issued a few years ago. So overall, we will continue to monitor the spending of the town as well as the revenue coming in and continue to look at all contracts. But we've got 3 months down. We've got 9 months to go, and we'll continue to monitor things as we go along. At that point, Mayor, I'll turn the meeting back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? Yeah, no, it's very comprehensive. We always appreciate.
Thank you.
And I'm sure the residents appreciate being able to keep up to date on our spending and our revenues. We appreciate that. Going on to the consent agenda. First thing I want to do is item 17 on the consent agenda. There's a staff is requesting that contract to be tabled to March 6th. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to table number 17 to March 6th.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Under public hearing, staff is requesting number 26, the budget amendment to be tabled to February 21st. May I have a motion?
Motion to table improvement budget till 26th.
21st.
21st, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
We need a roll call on that because it's a public hearing?
Mayor Paul,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 27, land use amendment. Staff is withdrawing the following item to be re-advertised at a later date. Since it's being withdrawn, we do not have to take a vote on it. It's just that announcement is made. Is there anyone that would like to pull anything from the consent agenda? No. Nor do I.
Oh, wow. No, my questions
May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda with no pulling.
I'll second that. All those in favor? Any opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. For those of you who had things on the consent agenda, you're good to go. This will take us to the public hearing portion of the meeting. You ready? We got a lot of reading to do.
This is the easy one. 21, I may need to take a break.
Okay. Number 20 is a resolution, the Capital Improvements Program. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the resolution by title, please?
Yes, Mayor. A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, approving the First Amendment to the 10-year capital improvements program for the Town of Davie for fiscal years 2024 through 2033, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. If there are any members of the public here who would like to speak on this, you may come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council, any questions or discussion? Could I have a motion to approve 20 capital improvement program?
Motion to approve 20 capital improvements program.
Town clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 21, this is a second and final reading. Codification, Mr. Weinthal, would you read the ordinance by title?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, creating Chapter 16, Article 10, Section 163, Purpose and Intent. Section 164, authorizing use of school zone speed limit detection systems. Section 165, implementation of Florida law by the town administrator in designating the town's special magistrates as the hearing officers. Section 166, designation of heightened safety school risk zones, which necessitate use of school zone speed limit detection systems. Making findings regarding relevant traffic data and other evidence supporting the installation and operation of each school zone speed limit detection system. Designating school zone speed detection system locations which constitute a heightened safety risk and warrants additional enforcement measures. Providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. This is the second and final reading. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak for or against this, you can come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any questions, discussion from council? Very long overdue. This is very good.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent program.
Could I have a motion to approve in a second?
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call. We're approving
Item number 21.
23. Thank you.
21.
21, item 21.
21, I'm sorry.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. New baby on the way.
Yeah.
Hurry home. Okay, where was I? I got sidetracked. 22, committee creation. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the ordinance by title?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 2-73, titled Advisory Board and Committees, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. This was approved on first reading. This is second reading. Are there any individuals that wish to speak for or against this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any questions or discussion by council? No? May I have a motion to approve the creation?
Motion to approve 22 committee creation.
It's the
Second.
Veterans.
Veterans Committee.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitman? Yes. Mayor Paul?
Yes,
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you. Number 23 is a code amendment dealing with leashing of dogs. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the ordinance by title, please?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending Chapter 4, Article 4, Section 61, titled Definitions, and Section 65, titled Leashing, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. This is second reading. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments from council? Yes,
I just have a question, Mayor. Are we going to put signs up?
I think I talked about that at the
I'm
last
sorry, I don't
meeting.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Well,
all. Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve
Motion
23?
to approve 23 code amendment about leashing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. 24 code amendment for the second reading. Mr. Weinthal will read the ordinance by title, please.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending the following section of Chapter 12, Land Development Code, Article 15, Wireless Telecommunication Facilities, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against this motion? There's a public hearing. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any questions or concerns by, okay. May I have a motion to approve 24 code amendment?
Motion to approve 24 code amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey.
Yes.
Mayor Paul.
Yes,
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman. Motion passes.
thank you very much. Number 25 is an ordinance, first reading, with the second reading on February 21st. It's a code amendment. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the ordinance by title, please?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending the following sections of Chapter 12, Land Development Code. Section 12-240, Design and Placement of Certain Temporary Signs, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. There's a public hearing. If anyone wishes to speak for or against this, you can come up at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any questions by council? No? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve 25 code amendment.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Starkey.
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman. Mayor Paul.
Yes,
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you very much. 26 and 27 are tabled and withdrawn. That closes the public hearing portion of the meeting. Going on to appointments. Next item is the Town of Davie Firefighters Retirement Trust Pension. Board appointment, Raj Verma has been recommended. You all know Raj has been here many times to accept proclamations and very fine representative of the community. Is
I'd
there,
like to make a motion. He's in my district, and I've known him for several years. I think he'll be an excellent addition.
very good. Is there a second?
That's a motion.
Second.
And we have do we need a roll call on this?
Yes, I would, Mayor.
Yes, thank you.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey.
Yes.
Mayor Paul.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations. Does anyone have any board appointments, committee appointments? Not at this time? Okay, the next thing we have is the committee recommendations that come from the Public Art Advisory Committee. I'd like to go through each of these, and then we can vote on them. First one is the painted fiberglass horse public art project. Raquel House made a motion to recommend using cow painters as the vendor to purchase 2 of each of the 5 fiberglass horse molds that were presented. I believe that's in your backup. You had an opportunity to look at them, and I'm sure Jeff has, Mr. Pullman, excuse me, has gone over that with you. Is there anyone that would like to make a motion to
So moved.
do that? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. This is getting close now, guys. We're getting excited about this. We're going to have horses all over town. 31 is the,
Open call to artists.
wait a minute, let me see which one that is.
Open call.
Is the
It's the open call.
open call.
The town hall. Yeah.
There was another one there.
Yeah, but this is the number 31. The open
Jeff,
call.
which one is this? This is the town hall sculpture?
Yes.
Excuse me. Yes, Mayor, and before we move on to 31, there were 2 motions in number 30.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I didn't,
Oh.
okay. I thought they were listed here. I was looking for a third one. I'm sorry. Okay, the second motion on number 30 rather, was Raquel House also made a motion to recommend amending the open call to artists to use the standing thoroughbred design as the generic template for the submission for the artwork. Recommendations for the mold selection for the artwork submitted for consideration will be determined by the Public Art Advisory Committee for recommendation to Town Council. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to
So
approve
moved.
that?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, now the other one is the Town Hall Significant Sculpture. This is to require the minimum height on the sculpture to be 12 feet in height, and the motion was made for that, and also to recommend the draft open call for the Town Hall Significant Sculpture to include town funding of the pad and lighting, and to include 2 references for past projects. This, again, is very exciting. This is going to be a really tremendous bronze statue in front of Town Hall. And for doing an open call, that means that people from around the country, and you know, I just mentioned it, he's going to be eligible, but to give you an idea, the Gandhi statue is a bronze, and you know the stature of that, and so we're really looking forward to this.
Just outside, we have the
The
firefighter and the police.
firefighters and the police, right?
Those were
We have a
bronze.
number of those around town, and I think that this will be a great addition. May I have a motion
So
to
moved. Second.
approve
Motion to approve.
that recommendation
That
by the
recommendation.
Public
Yes,
Art
ma'am. Yes.
Advisory Committee?
Yes.
And there's a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Did you want to add anything, Jeff?
No, I don't. I just, excuse me, I will say that the Public Art Advisory Committee, to this point, who you all appointed, has really taken hold of these projects, and they've been very productive meetings. And as you can see through the recommendations, we have 3 projects moving forward at this point. So, and the utility box wraps are in the permitting phase with the county, so we're hoping to get that approval here shortly.
Thank you.
Good job.
Number 32 is the Town of Davie Historic Preservation Board, Davie Heritage Marker Program nominations. The Town Council had directed staff to work with the Historic Preservation Board to create a program recognizing the town's unique culture and history. Last year, 2023, through Resolution 159, the Davie Heritage Marker Program was established. The program was created to encourage voluntary preservation of significant buildings in the town. This year, the Historic Preservation Board nominated Griff's Western and Bob Ross New River Grove for the first annual 2024 Davie Heritage Markers. These markers will be presented at a town council meeting this coming May, which happens also to be National Historic Preservation Month. May I have a motion to accept the board's nominations?
Motion to accept the board's nominations for this.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Another important step for us as we continue to try to preserve as much as we can
Yep.
within the town. Okay, under new business, 33, this is, as you all know, you're aware that Form 6 is looming.
Coming
The
down
new
the
form that the state has so generously allowed us to fill out this year for the first time. It's quite involved. There is litigation going on within the county in reference to this. It might be a rough go at it, since it's going to be against state legislation, which I discussed with Mr. Weinthal, but I think there's already, 12?
It's now up to 19
19
As of-
municipalities
yesterday.
as of yesterday that are now signed on to this litigation, and that was a question I was going to ask. I think that we should join in with this, but I wanted to get the rest of the council's feeling about it. I believe, what was the amount?
It's up
$10,000.
to $10,000.
Right.
It does not cover appeal, but it'll be up to $10,000 for the initial
Right.
litigation.
And I thought it's money well spent. It's $2,000 each. And if, I was even going to say, if we needed to, well, I'll wait and see how the discussion goes before I say anything. Susan?
Well, obviously, Mayor, none of us are happy that we have to give every little detail of every little dollar, but that's what the legislators had passed, and, we sometimes have to accept it. And senators and House representatives, as others, they also have to fill this out, as well as judges. Several years back, we did some investigation, and I knew, after discussing at the Board of Directors at the Florida League of Cities, we've discussed at that level around the rest of the state their frustration in having to do this when some of them make $1 a year and they may only have 6,000 residents in their whole municipality. So basically, it's practically a volunteer job. Other problematic issues with this is if there's a attorney-client privilege, or a doctor-client privilege, you're still required to list those dollars amount and sometimes even the name, which could present problems in litigation and other things. So we know there's a problem with this, but as I looked at the research dating back from 1976, when I believe it was 5 senators at the time had sued the state under basically saying it was an invasion of their privacy, and they lost. It also went to appeal, and they lost again. And so there were a number of issues, but primarily the main issue for them losing was that in public office there's an expectation that we have to be transparent. I've talked with other cities. I talked to the cities in Weston. I talked to Jamie Cole, from Rhoda, who is also doing the litigation himself. Jamie loves to take on. He's the David and Goliath of the world in litigation for our cities most of the time. As you know, he's challenged many issues, win some, lose some. My problem with this is, even if they take it all the way up to state appeal, I don't think we're going to win this, and I think it's unfortunate that the $10,000, to me, I have to watch every penny. I could see other reasons why we would be spending money, the $10,000 in better issues well spent. The difference in the legislation this year is it's not filed with Broward County in as much as it's filed with the state. So chances are people aren't going to really navigate or go out there and look for it. As we always do, we get challengers with our campaigns, and if anybody does oppositional research, they're entitled to look at everything we have. And unfortunately, the exemptions that are given right now are protected under 119. That's another avenue that people are looking at for exemptions. So my point is, I just don't believe at this point this is really something that the town should be embarking on. I think we're going to lose. Even in an appeal, we'll lose. I also think that if the one thing that I was hoping that they included in the litigation was that it wouldn't have been retroactive or in the middle of your term. For instance, we have to do it this year, although our term isn't even up. We just got elected. Our term isn't even up until 26. So we were hoping that the legislators would have taken that into consideration. They did not, and there's no litigation, or he hasn't put that in, to my knowledge, at this point. I read it doesn't really look like that's going to fly either. So I can't support it at this time. I do understand the power in numbers, but when you look at the case law that follows this, and even their own senators who had legitimate concerns with attorney-client privileges did not win.
I have spoken with several mayors in other communities, and they feel that it is, nobody is trying to hide anything. I mean, we put our information out there. Anybody that wants to find out anything about us just has to look on the internet and they can find out everything. But I'm concerned about some of the information that has to be given that I think is an invasion of privacy and relationship to a business person who has to list all of his clients and so forth and so on. But to answer you about spending money, I have not spent, we each have an individual account that we use for travel. I haven't spent that in years. It's not, it doesn't keep coming back and we lose it, but I don't spend it. I'm willing to give that $2,000 as my portion to the payment for this if anybody else has a problem with the expenditure of the money. So I believe that we should at least give it a try. I'm sure Jamie, I know him well enough, if he didn't think that there was a possibility, I don't think he would be moving forward with this, nor would 19 municipalities be joining in with it. So, yes, Marlon.
I'll go on the record clearly and say I don't like this. I think it's intrusive, especially to me as a businessman. I think it's wrong for the legislature to do that. But then the other part of me has to say, I think it's here. I don't think it's going to go away. And I think that Weiss Rhoda is going to win on this one way or the other. They're going to get paid to do it, that they're going to win. But I've spoken with different attorneys. I've spoken with lobbyists, and they all say this is here to stay. Now, if that other group suing wins, it will benefit us. But us jumping it, I don't think it benefits anything at this point. And trust me, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I just hate to throw any money at it because I think it's here, and I think that's just the way it is.
I think maybe you know how it's worded in relationship to if you don't join in and they do win the case, you can benefit by it, but then it would cost you money as well.
So if Mr. Cole wins the lawsuit, it would benefit anyone, municipalities, counties, judges. It would benefit everyone, whether or not we join in or not.
Absolutely, we win.
Sorry?
It,
No,
They can't.
if we did not join in and they win, it doesn't cost us a cent.
We win.
We would ride their coattails.
Right, it's just like the contract with teachers, everybody gets to do it, even if you're not a land review.
Correct.
If one person was suing and won, we'd all win.
That's correct. If one municipality footed the whole bill and won, everyone would benefit. What Mr. Cole was trying to do was, if more people joined, the idea was that not everyone would have to spend the $10,000. I don't know how much money he's going to bill. When I spoke to him, he was going to file in state and federal jurisdictions. He hasn't filed yet.
Friday, right?
So he told me he was going to file this week or next week.
Yeah. I'd like to make another point. Your constitutional rights are given to you as individuals. So individually, we all have those rights. What we're asking to do is to join in as a municipality. So that's another point that I don't know, Alan, if you think that is another reason why it wouldn't really hold up. I mean, if people individually joined, like the senators had joined actually individually about their rights.
So how this is going to work is there has to be someone named on the lawsuit. It could be one person, it could be 20 people. So the municipalities that opted to join in, some of the elected officials opted to be a named individual on the lawsuit. That's a possibility that any one of you five could do. I think it's kind of late for that because he plans on filing soon anyway. But so the municipality joins in the lawsuit. They're footing the bill. The elected official is the named plaintiff, not the municipality.
Well, we've had the opinion of 3 people.
The other thing Alan does have is an agreement if individually somebody is interested in joining for the $2,000 agreement of an individual, you're welcome to do that too. But I would go through Alan to make sure it's okay with the rest of us too, that way.
You're all citizens, you're welcome to spend
Right.
your own money on what you want.
Exactly.
That is an option as well. Yeah,
Just saying.
So who's the police for this Form 6?
the state,
The Form 6 police, who's the
the
police?
state.
The state.
Ethics Commission.
Right.
Well, we have an ethics commission in Broward.
No,
right?
but this is the Florida Commission on Ethics.
The
Right.
Florida Commission on Ethics, okay.
So this is Tallahassee, that would be
Yeah.
the police
And
person.
I haven't seen the form. I've asked, but nobody seems to.
It's online.
I can't see online, Susan,
Okay.
sorry.
We could print it out
I'd
for
just
you.
like to know if somebody could tell me exactly what we have to tell them. Exact
Everything.
amounts of money that you have in the bank?
It is
Everything.
It is very intrusive. It is very, very intrusive. I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and print it out and go over it, but it is very intrusive. That's a fact. I think we're all agree
And
on that.
it's just one more thing that the state legislature is doing
I think it's
to,
ridiculous.
you know,
We all do. We know it.
When they read and said that people have
It's
to worry
horrible.
about being kidnapped because of what's in that form, I mean, that's absolutely asinine. I mean, I don't make, I'm an open book, I'm a retired teacher, I don't have that much to report anyway. They could have everything they want to know, check all my books, but I do agree that it's intrusive and it's ridiculous to people that make, business people, stuff like that. So I agree with the mayor.
Yeah, we agree it's frustrating, but the law isn't on our side.
Right.
well,
Not even in an
sometimes, you
appeal.
know, sometimes
You
you
gotta
do
fight
need
the law.
to,
Case law.
These
Sometimes you
constitutional
need to-
things rarely get overturned, isn't that correct?
sure,
Yeah.
with the present court system,
Yeah,
it's
with the president, Senate, and
questionable
governor.
because of the appointments that have been made. But I'm still willing to take a try. I just on principle alone that it is intrusive, and I think the municipalities need to stick together.
I'm a no.
Oh,
I'm a no.
Carol?
I don't like it at
Michelle?
all, I don't. But
Because if I don't have you know, at least 3 votes, there's no sense in even putting to a motion.
I think if there's a guarantee, which I know is a broad spectrum for this, I can't see spending money on something if we don't have a chance.
yeah, me
And
too.
I don't know
I
if
know.
we're going to have a chance or not, but
All right.
it's,
You've made your point. I think it's disappointing. I think that every once in a while, we have to let people know how we feel. I mean, there are a lot of things going on in this state, and we need to stick together and let everyone know that we are opposed to what is being done, from home rule all the way down the line. It's just been one thing after another from this governor and this legislature. So I won't pursue it any further, since it's obvious that I don't have the votes, but I'm just very disappointed. 34, Blue Zone, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's a good article in the paper the other day. Did you see it, Susan?
I missed it.
It was very good. On
Really?
the Blue Zone. Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Sun Sentinel.
At our last council meeting, I briefly commented on an interesting project that I would like to see, and I believe it would benefit the town. Not just our employees, but our residents and even ourselves. I believe that as part of our responsibility as council member, it is our responsibility to look out for our health, safety, and welfare of our community. The mayor had requested more information, and here you go. Basically, we put something together and prepared a presentation with a brief video that will talk to you about what exactly a blue zone is. Decades of studies had been documented, reported, written about, and filmed, most notably by Dan Buettner, an explorer, filmmaker, and author at the National Geographic. And I'd like you to watch a brief video.
A lot of people do a lot of things in search of a long and healthy life. Complicated diet plans, gym memberships, and expensive dietary supplements. But in a 4-part Netflix series called Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zone, best-selling author Dan Buettner says a lot of that is misguided. He traveled to places he calls blue zones, where more people live significantly longer than average, trying to figure out how they do it.
I think it's facing the inevitable. We're all going to get frail. We're all going to die. But how long we want to be on this earth, we have a lot of say in that matter. So we started at the end and then went back from there.
When you found these blue zones, were there some themes running through all of them?
Yes, if you want to know what a 100-year-old ate to live to be 100, you have to know what she was eating as a child in middle age and newly retired. So to get at that, we found 155 dietary surveys done in all 5 blue zones over the last 80 years, and we averaged them with the help of Harvard. And we found that 90 to 95%, they're eating a whole food, plant-based diet. Meat only about 5 times per month. And contrary to a lot of sort of keto/paleo diet advice, it's mostly carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, which I think shocks a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can change a population's health by trying to convince individuals to change their behavior or somehow imbue them with responsibility. We're genetically hardwired to crave fat, salt, and sugar and take rest whenever we want. So unless we set up our environment where it's easy for us to eat basically whole food, plant-based, easier for us to walk than it is to drive, we're going to continue to see healthcare costs in the trillions as we're seeing today in America. The number one killer in America is our diet. We lose about 660,000 Americans prematurely to the way we eat. If we don't take aim at that, these other things are more peripheral. People in blue zones are living a long time because they're socializing, because they know their purpose and they live their purpose. They live near nature. They keep their families close by. And we can map all of these to higher life expectancy.
I believe it.
So the big point for blue zones is if you adopt the blue zones way of life, you not only stack the deck in favor of longevity, but you can be pretty sure the journey is going to be pleasurable.
So here before you is a map of, they began looking at 5 areas. As you can see, there's Loma Linda, California, cities in Okinawa, Italy, Greece, and Costa Rica, spanning the 5 continents and around the world with a diverse backgrounds, and to determine how these clusters of people in these areas were living, not only just living longer, but a quality of life well into their 90s and 100s. They're known as centenarians, sorry. Next slide is their findings determined that there were 9 common themes that ran across most of those communities. Mainly a sense of purpose. They had a sense of purpose or felt of usefulness. The right community. It was pedestrian friendly. It was pro-plant, pro-social. They moved naturally. They walked. They had fun. They had a right tribe, whether it's family or friends or just colleagues. They seemed to be able to be around positive people making positive choices, and a plant slate, just to name a few. In our work to build a healthier, stronger community, we can join with many of the 70 cities and communities around the country that have already started with a Blue Zone project. Several communities in Southwest Florida include Naples and Ave Maria, are just to name a few that have been certified recently. Next slide. There are several books out there, as well as Netflix and videos and all kinds of information that span the past 2 decades of research that have been done. I think of it as a de facto formula for longevity and the most credible information for adding years to your life and life to your years, said Dan Buettner in his book called The Blue Zone, Secrets of Living Longer. The average American can expect a 7 to 10 year boost towards longevity, he said. With Davie's history and our council's achievements over the years by additional trails, parks, programs for our youth and our seniors, gardening classes, and soon-to-be farm park, we're already ahead of the game. I personally watched the Netflix series, the YouTube videos, documentaries, and read a few books on the topics, and even purchased a few of my own. So at this point, I'd like to ask that our Environmental Agriculture Advisory Board would look into it as a possibility. I'd like to read to you now an email that I received from their chair after I discussed it with her. Hi, Susan, I love the idea. I bought the book and I plan to finish it within the week. I think expanding what we're doing in the community garden and by creating more spaces for people of all ages to gather, socialize, learn, and actively grow food would be a great start. For example, making a point to encourage all our Davie schools to start with an edible garden and to create a blueprint for motivating residences and HOAs to approach their associations to start gardening in their own neighborhoods. That they can walk so that they can also learn instead of getting in a car and driving around to their gardens. The blueprint could also include what plants to include depending on how much common space they have. How to inexpensively build the soil and how to overcome common challenges. And she goes on. She said, as newly appointed chair to the Agriculture Committee, she would be happy and willing to meet with the schools and the HOA to help them come up with a plan to create their own Blue Zone gardens. Her son Christian loves the cookbook that they also bought and would love to help plan cooking programs to teaching everyone how to cook for a healthier lifestyle. So now I ask, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I would like to get a thumbs up to have the committee review this
I
and
think
make
that's
some
my job.
suggestion.
That's my job to make that recommendation. What?
Yes.
Put your mic on. Put your mic on.
I have a suggestion that we hook them up with the Education Committee.
That could be also another step.
I think that would really they'd work very well together.
And if you're not aware of it, the Farm Bureau
Yes.
already does grants and gardens, and many, many schools get a $500 grant to do their own garden, and we've got some of our schools right here in Davie that are already a part of it. So I would enjoy involving them as well, too. And at this point, if there's no objection, we can send this on to the board.
I visited
for
a few
review.
schools, Mayor, and they have those grow things. where
Right.
They grow all the different kinds of lettuces and stuff
The
right in their
the
classroom.
indoor,
Grow thing, and they're eating what they make. They're
Right.
eating the different lettuces and
Right.
stuff
So
that they buy. It's
it's
really
already
exciting. Yeah.
it's already
Would
being
help,
done
I
in a
think.
lot of the
Yeah.
schools.
So like I said, this is great because we're already doing so many of these good things
think
that this would be able to tie it all together under one program
Yeah.
and get some grant monies additionally.
And I know this has been around for years
It
because I've
has.
heard about it years and years ago. So
Yeah.
it's been
Is
around a
that why
long
you're doing
time.
so well?
Hmm?
Is that why you look so good?
Yep. I grow my own food.
Right.
Okay, so if there's no objection,
up.
we'll send it on to the
Thumbs
Ag
up.
Board. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Good job, Susan.
Thank you.
Make note of the 25 budget calendar, starting in March. Oh, God,
Already, wow.
it's about a month away. Our council vision and goal setting session. And notice that there's little stars, if you're looking at your
Yeah.
list. The 5th of June for the first budget workshop. We can't do that because that's my birthday.
Oh, no, we can't do that one then. We'll have to change it.
I'm just
Or have a cake.
But do we need to take that vote to reschedule the July 3rd meeting now? Would you like us to do that? Okay. So we need to reschedule the July 3rd council meeting and the CRA meeting to July 31st.
There it is.
So, and cancel the second council meeting.
The CRA meeting will have to be done at a CRA meeting.
Oh, that's
So, but-
okay.
but-
Somebody put that, was that on there today, on my calendar? Okay, we'll do it
That's
at
just for the
next one.
knowledge, but we'll add it.
Uh-huh.
We'll add it to the.
Okay.
So next month.
All right, so take a motion to reschedule July 3rd council meeting to July 31st and cancel the second council meetings in June and July.
So moved, what you
Wait,
said.
wait, before we do, July 31st is usually a problem for me. That's my summer break.
July
It's all
what?
our summer break.
Yeah, but I know, but that's when I'm out of the country.
So it's actually
Yeah.
pushing, Mayor, if I may, it's actually pushing the meeting in July, which is technically our second meeting in July would be the 24th, when usually that's when we
Yeah.
reconvene from break. So we're pushing it for a week later to the 31st.
Could
No.
we not do the 24th?
No, we're looking at the 24th. I'm sorry if
24th?
it's the
Yeah, I could do the
24th. It may be misstated on there, correct?
Yeah, you put July
Right.
31st.
I understand, Mayor, but we're actually asking for the 24th.
You're making it
what?
early.
24th is good.
Okay,
so
so
you're
I will
looking- So you're looking to move July 3rd to July 24th, is that what
Right.
I'm hearing?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for both.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we're canceling the second council meetings in June and July and scheduling the July 3rd meeting for July 24th.
And the workshop.
Could you please send that out?
Of course.
It's on your
I know,
agenda.
but. all
Yeah,
right.
once
Yeah,
it's
just-
changed, we'll-
Thank
They'll
you.
blow it up for you.
Thank you. I don't understand it. That's
So, would somebody make that motion?
I'll make a motion to cancel the first meeting of July 3rd, the second meeting of July 17th, and then having the meeting on the 24th of July, both CRA.
No, just do
Just-
the council.
We don't
Right.
need a CRA?
We'll
No,
do
I'll
the-
bring
we
that-
have to
then.
do in the CRA.
Okay, the council meeting, and then also adding our workshop to that, 24th as well.
So it'll be,
Wait, the workshop is already on July 24th.
yeah,
So you're,
4:00, yeah.
right, so all you're doing
all
is,
we're doing is a council meeting.
right, not the workshop.
Which the workshop is already scheduled. So we have a motion to reschedule the July 3rd council meeting to July 24th and cancel the second council meetings in June and July.
That's the motion.
That's the motion.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Susan made the motion.
Marlon had seconded.
Oh, Marlon?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Marlon.
I didn't hear him. And then, of course, because this always lets these dates out, notice that the school board budget hearing is July 30th and September 10th, and the county budget is September 5th and September 17th, so. Okay. Council member and mayor's comments. Let me start off with reminding everybody, March is Women's History Month. We have to select our sheroes.
Yeah.
I was told we should have them by the 29th of February, but then that only gives a week. It doesn't give a very long time for them to put together the videos and get the information. So as quickly as you can get that information to Evelyn, that would be appreciated. We need to, I have an ongoing problem with the landscapers that we use. They're not very careful. They're constantly mowing over things. Point that I want to make is that they've destroyed the markers at Robbins Lodge, and we need to start charging them for replacing these. It's not the first time, and I don't know whether they're being replaced, but you know, these markers were a very long time. We still haven't finished doing this project, but it was a very long time in preparation and so forth. And obviously, the equipment they're using is maybe too large. I don't know. They have to be more careful. I've also gotten a couple of emails from some people about how sometimes there's a nice field of flowers and things are growing and it looks so pretty, and then the landscapers come in and they mow everything down. And so what I want to do is look into creating certain areas around town where we put in ground cover that grows naturally and grows out instead of up, and then not mow it, so that we can have some very natural areas. I've got some suggestions. For myself, at my home, I use peanut grass, and it's got a cute little yellow flower on it, and it spreads, and it never gets very high. There's other plants, wild violet, yellow alcium, creeping thyme. It's the highest it gets is 3 inches, and this is all low maintenance. These are all good possibilities, and I'd like to look at this more carefully with our landscaper and
That'd be less work
staff.
for them, wouldn't it?
Huh?
That'd be less work for them, wouldn't it?
Yes, and
That's
we
what I'm
could
saying.
maybe save some money
Save some time.
on those contracts with the landscapers that, you know, if they can't, if they love mowing dirt too. I mean, just because the schedule says they have to mow, whether it's rained or not, you know, they'll just mow. And that's one of my pet peeves. But don't forget, folks, next meeting, February 21st, we're wearing Western wear,
Okay.
getting ready for Orange Blossom. And also, what's our timeline on approving the company for the construction of Town Hall? I'm getting very anxious.
It's on my list, too.
Mayor, that should be coming back to you in one of the next council meetings for you.
Thank you. And that's only one reading? It's only one decision? We don't have to...
Right, the recommendations will be brought back to for
Okay, and
council.
once we approve it, how long until we break ground?
I don't want to
weeks.
speculate right now.
2 weeks.
It-
Did you
weeks.
say 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah, let's schedule it.
Let's schedule it and put
That
them-
way the
their
crunch
feet
is
to the
on
fire.
us.
I'll give you a better idea once we make you all make the
Oh,
selection.
okay, thank you. I may come back. I want to just say how great the Police and Fire Expo was. We had a great turnout. The weather was terrific. And someone said something to me one time about, you know, my tax dollars, blah, blah. I said, have you ever been to the Fire and Police Expo? No, what's that? Well, if you want to see how your tax dollars are used, why don't you go to that? I think you'll be very, very pleased. And again, it was interesting because one of the individuals that wrote that to me was there this time, and he said, you were right, you were right. And I also, at this point, we put out the notice already about the, is that me up, or is that your phone ringing again?
No, it's
What
you.
is it?
It sounds like the emergency.
It was you.
Could it be?
No, it
Your
was ringing,
time's up.
it was ringing before. It was like
Well, we have 3 of us that time's up, but you
No.
can have a minute for mine.
We want to wish our fire chief
Oh,
a very wonderful retirement. We're going to miss you very, very much. You have done so much
she's amazing.
for our fire department, and our town. You have put us on the map more than once, all over for the country, the state, county, and we appreciate everything that you've done. You'll be sorely missed. I know Assistant Chief Gonzalez will do a great job, but he's got some big shoes to follow, and we
She has a new
congratulate.
baby grandchild coming.
I may come back with more afterwards.
Ah.
Thank you, Mayor. Robbins Park will be buzzing with excitement this Saturday as the town hosts its next gardening workshop. The workshop will take place from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and attendees will learn about bees and pollinators. The event is open to all ages, so please stop by. Next Saturday, Davie PD is hosting their monthly car seat installation program. The event will take place on February 17th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the CarMax Vehicle Service Area located at 7420 West State Road 84. If you want the peace of mind to know that your car seat is installed correctly, come out to the event and have the professionals do it for you. I see our Davie Police Department is accepting applications from teens interested in participating in the Explorer program. There are a few requirements for you to participate. Please contact our police department at 954-693-8295 if you know someone who would be a perfect match for the program. Of course, since it is our first meeting of the month, I want to wish our February babies a happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, last week was a little crazy for me. I went up Monday morning to Tallahassee and spent 3 days up there running around the Capitol, both the Senate and the House, on several bills that the Florida League of Cities and our town staff, and our town council had directed me to do so. Some of the bills include suits against government, which is the sovereign immunity, known as the Sovereign Immunity Bill. It was proposed last year, but they finally got some consensus now, and it's not as bad as it once was. That's all I gotta say. It's moving its way through. We're in week 5. It's still bad, I know, but another one that I discussed with our building official just before the meeting was Senate Bill 684. The Senate Community Affairs Committee passed it late last night. They passed it along, but what that means is any large-scale developments would have to have an expedited permitting process, and it's not a good bill for accountability because we want to be able to make sure that most of those are being, every time there's a plat, that the zones that you're actually looking at, the surveys, and that they're being done properly and not just as a bulk. And then that the permits, the building permits themselves are actually being looked at and not as a whole and just approved. There's like a shot clock to it so that if it's not done in a certain time frame, the scary part is that, they could be deemed automatic and approved. So we're looking at these bills. There's also the vacation rental bill that's up there all the time, and we're trying to get a handle of that, at least make some changes, but even the changes that are being proposed still don't give us back our authority to allow where they should be. And the big rub is where they are putting some of these. 3 or 4 of them can be right next door to you and have transient people renting week by week, and you don't even know who they are, but they leave a mess or they have a party house or whatever, and that's clearly nothing we want to see. One of the good bills was called the Alternative Mobility Funding System that's finally come up, which is House Bill 479. We actually are supporting that. It will be pretty good because basically they're saying that any of those funding would come to us for our comprehensive land development plan. The funding would then come to us on any of those mobility fees as opposed to going to county, because after all, we're permitting and approving those. So there's a lot of stuff going on and some really crazy bills out there that are, like the mayor said earlier, that may just kind of take away more of our home rule authority, give us more unfunded mandates, and drive us all crazy. They just think they can run municipalities from Tallahassee, rather than look at what some small cities would affect them. Really doesn't affect us or shouldn't affect us in the same way because we're all different and unique around the state. So, if you want to help out, there's always information. We have updates all the time, and we would love residents to also get involved. And if you're interested in helping out with that, we'll provide you with the information and updates as these real time that we could text and email our local officials and Tallahassee officials on these issues. Other than that, happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Carol?
Just a happy Valentine's Day, and thank you to all the staff that's been so kind to me in my hours of need, so I appreciate it all. Thank you so much.
Marlon?
Thank you, Mayor. I started off last Friday at the retirement party for Mayor Ortis at Pembroke Pines. It was excellent. Had a good time for him. And 28 years of service, and next month they get a new mayor in Pembroke Pines. So I wish the retirement to Mayor Ortis. I wish him all the best. He's always been a gentleman to us and a good guy to work with. And Saturday I got to go to the Police and Fire Expo, and Susan said the weather was incredible, and it was really a nice event. And those that haven't been, I would encourage you to go and see that. It was really something special. On another note, I got a letter, I think it was last week I got it, from Bill Laystrom, who represents Vixen's Lounge. Yeah. And they're asking, they'd like to change their hours. They're not asking for any more hours, but they close now at 6, but they'd like to close at 8 and then not open till 10. So they're really not asking for anything, and I'm not asking anyone here to vote on that as far as now, because I'd like this to go back to Mr. Lamack, and because there's a settlement agreement, I think it has to go to our attorney, and I'd like it to go to our police chief and our fire chief too, to get their opinions on this, and so that when it comes back to council, we'll have all the facts and know what we're dealing with. So if it's okay with council, I'd like to give this to Mr. Lamack and bring it back to us.
I'm sure they're on it already.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
I said, I'm sure they're on it already. No? Whatever.
I couldn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
She said that she's sure they're on it already. But
No,
he says
I don't think so.
We've all met with him, so
Yeah, I don't think so.
there's no residential around there anymore at all.
I just won't make any comments about it right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this,
That's up to you.
Mary, are you directing me to do what?
He's asking you to do something.
I'm asking you to look at this and to bring it back to council, and we'll give the fire chief, the police chief a chance to look at this. And I think that our attorney will have to look at this as well, because there's a settlement agreement. And then we
So
can
you
vote
want-
on it from
You would like me
there.
to come back into old business now at a future council meeting?
Yes,
No.
Well,
Why would it?
I need some direction, that's all.
I would think so. Why not?
Why aren't they applying for this? Why are you bringing it up?
Mayor, it would have to take council action, and I'll have Mr. Weinthal speak to it, because there was a suit settled for it and ordinances crafted, so I'll let Mr. Weinthal speak to it.
I'll chime in. So what would have to happen to make this, what would have to happen to allow this to work is you'd have to amend the settlement agreement, which would be done via resolution. So it would have to come back to council for y'all's approval. It would require a majority vote. So are you asking us to bring it back as a resolution for approval? The
Yes,
amendment?
That's what I'm
But
asking, yes.
why are you asking for it?
Well, I got a letter asking if I would bring this up and see if it could be passed on. And instead of asking for the resolution, I'm asking for it to come back, because I'd like for,
That's a roundabout way of
but
doing
I'd
it.
like for it to have facts. I'd like for this to go to the police chief, the fire chief, our attorney, and get Mr. Lamack's opinion and see, and then we come back and then we can talk about it.
I thought he was gonna come and present it. That's when he came and visited each of us.
Mayor?
This is very, yes.
Yeah, I have no interest in bringing something forward to a business with a settlement agreement. If they want to follow proper channels, then they have every right to do it
That will be
themselves.
proper channels.
No, they just
No.
asked you to do it for them.
No.
They have
No.
to, the
No.
attorney just said they would have to file and request an amendment to their settlement agreement.
It could be brought forth many different ways. As you all know, as elected officials, you have the right to request us to put something on the agenda. It doesn't mean it passes, so we will do what you guys want us to do. If you are requesting us to put a resolution on the upcoming agenda to approve the First Amendment for the settlement agreement with Vixens,
I'm
That's-
not.
I was under the impression they were bringing it back themselves, Mayor.
They-
That's all.
we will do what you guys want us to do. If you want us,
I feel that they should go through the proper procedure, not have
I
a
don't think this is
council
in the
member
proper
bring it
channel.
up.
I'm not interested in seeing it on our agenda,
I-
even with a letter from them asking. No.
Well,
I'm
there's
not
3 of us
interested.
here. Why don't we vote and see if we can bring it back?
Time's up.
I have no idea what that is.
It's the 5-minute timer. We will do whatever council directs us to do. If you want us to bring it forth, we'll bring it forth and you can vote on it then. If you don't want us to bring it forth, we'll.
I'd like to bring it forth.
Well, then make a motion.
I'll make a motion to bring it forth.
Is there a second? Hearing no second, it dies.
Is there not a second?
There's no second, so it dies. The motion dies. If they want to do this, let them do it through the proper channels. Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Mr. Lemack?
I have nothing to add this evening, thank you.
Mr. Weintraub?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Okay, if there are no objections, we're adjourned.